If I woke up broke today, these are the 9 things I'd do to start building wealth immediately while in the military or as a veteran using my benefits, and we're going to talk about it right now. What I would do personally right now, going back in time, is I would match my TSP. So I would do the 5% so that I could get the 5% matching contribution, because nothing beats a guaranteed 100% ROI. So you got to take advantage of that. Then I would go back and I would do a 1-month emergency fund. So let's say I spend $2,000 a month, I would save $2,000 in a savings account. Then I would up my TSP percentage to like 20% so that I'm reaping more from it, because TSP compounds over time, and the more you put in at an early age, the better you're off in the long run. The earlier you can contribute, the better you are. Those dollars are worth infinitely more than later contributions. In fact, every dollar contributed at 20 is probably worth $2 at 30, or $4 at 40, or $8 at 50, and $16 at 60, if you get my point, right? So definitely worth contributing at 18, 19, 20, 21, as opposed to starting at 30, so the more you can contribute. The very first, and this is a total cop-out, is I would read my book, which wasn't around when I was starting to start this journey, and that's the whole reason it is now, because I wanted to compile everything that I wish I'd known when I first joined the military into one place so that I could hand it to someone and be like, dude, if you just follow this, you'll be okay. And that's what I built. So you can go get a free download right below, or you can go to militarymillionairebook.com and download it there. And I mean, it's a free PDF. It's not the real book. If you want the real book, you can buy it on Amazon, or you can listen to it on Audible. I recorded it myself. It took me forever, and it cost me like $4,000, so the audio is great. But I digress. The book is a great starting place. But then I'd build a 6-month emergency fund, and I would have that cash set aside. So now I've got, hey, if everything goes wrong, I'm covered for 6 months. And I would then go from there. I would go to index and mutual funds. So I'd take every little bit of cash I have extra basically the amount that you were saving to put into that emergency fund, I would set aside in an index fund, like Vanguard VTSAX is pretty iconic. It's like total stock market index fund, so it just follows the U.S. economy. Or a mutual fund. I don't necessarily have any recommendations there. Do your own research. But the reason I would do that is you can pull that cash out without penalty, and it still grows with the market. So you're still earning a return better than a savings account. You can pull that cash without a penalty, and then so as you build that up, that will be what you use to go buy your next investment if you need to. Around this time, or really at any time during this process, if you're eligible for the VA loan, I would house hack at whatever duty station that is. So I'd buy a duplex, triplex, fourplex, live in one unit, rent the rest, or if you're single, a big single family house, rent all the bedrooms. You're asking, but Dave, if you're single, you don't get BH. Well, you do if you're an officer or high enough rank. But if you're young and you don't have that, get married. Don't get married just for the BH. But if you get married, great. Or you just wait until you can use the VA loan. So whatever process in here, whatever timeline in here, you can use the VA loan. I would then use the VA loan to house hack. And I say house hacking even if you have a wife and kid, and it's not the most comfortable thing in the world. The reason for it is that you're going to learn how to be a landlord. You're going to benefit from the property going up in value. Your tenants are going to pay your mortgage down. And you're going to benefit from all the tax advantages, the depreciation. And you can do this while hiring a property manager, so you're not even have to do the crap. But you basically cut out your biggest expense, which is your living expense, because you're living for free. And then you take the money that you would have been spending on housing and you put it in that index fund to save for your next investment. And then when you PCS, you use the VA loan again and you house hack again, depending on, cost of living in each area and entitlement, and make sure that you can still do it. Or you use an FHA, or you use an FHA loan or a 5% down conventional loan if you don't qualify with the VA, and that works because you've been saving this money on the side. So we've got TSP/IRA, 6-month emergency fund, index fund, mutual fund, house hacking. And I would just repeat the house hacking until you have enough cash stashed away to start investing elsewhere. And in this time, I'd be really researching niches that I'm interested in. So do I want to wholesale, meaning I have time but no money, or do I want to do like passive syndications, meaning I have money but no time? There's like the spectrum of like wholesaling, flipping, buy and hold, multifamily, raising capital, passive investor, of like passivity, vice, active income. And I would kind of figure out where I want to be in that niche, and then I would really research through podcasts and books those specific items until I was like a little master, And then once I'm really knowledgeable about it, I would just start ripping it out, and I'd continue to do all this. So that's like the basic 9 steps, and I kind of went through that quickly. Now the multiplier here is if you can build a brand or a business, or both. And the reason is because as those make active income, you can roll that into your passive real estate investments. So you can roll this extra capital into your investments over and over and over again and compound what your business is making to really generate that intense return. I think that's a phenomenal way to go about that. And that's how a lot of these bigwigs, these bigger guys do it, right? They have a business, that business rolls money into their real estate holds, builds wealth, and that's how they grow their net worth. But the business is how they fund all the real estate. Now, you can do zero down, you can do high leverage, you can do VA loans, you can do all of these things, but it doesn't hurt if you've got a business to put 20-30% down and just crush, and build that net worth and let it ride for the long term, because you don't need the cash flow, you just reinvest it. Kind of like dividends in an index fund. And I think that's a great strategy, and that's like the basic overarching theme of what I do. Now, there are so many things that I could go into here. Don't buy into whole life if you're just starting out. It's not a get rich quick, it's not an investment, it's a wealth preservation strategy, it's a saving strategy. Don't get suckered into get rich quick schemes. Don't get shiny object syndrome and go after day trading or Forex or Bitcoin because they only show their wins and they don't show their losses, or they show their annual returns but not their annual returns when weighted against their losses correctly. I think they call it a CAGR, C-A-G-R. I don't remember what it stands for. Let me. I'm gonna learn something. I'm gonna teach you guys. What is C-A-G-R? See what I did there? I Googled a question because I thought it'd be a simple answer. All right, so compound annual growth rate. This is the metric that measures the average annual growth rate of an investment or finance over a period. So that's what the CAGR, the compound annual growth rate, factors in losses. So you can have a ton of wins and have an average hit here, but the CAGR will be lower if you took some big losses, depending on when they were. Like if they were at the beginning of the year versus the end of the year, that has a different effect on your CAGR. So anyway, that's all complex shit, but day traders, Forex, go follow Eric Invest or ES Invest on YouTube if you want to learn about that stuff. He does options trading. He's a Marine Corps officer veteran. He's a sweet dude. And I believe that he actually has people's best interests at heart. So do that instead of following random people who are like, look at all this money I made, look at all this money I made, look at all this money I made, and they're just screwing you. So really just avoid falling into those traps. When you're ready to take things to the next level, click down below on the Mastermind application and hit up the War Room. We are a group of 330 plus service members and vets right now when I'm recording this that are serious about financial freedom. They're invested. They continue to invest. They have skin in the game. They're there to help. There's content. There's 3 calls a week, including one that's like a group coaching call with me where you just ask me anything. There's an accountability squad you'll get put in. There's guest speaker presentations and recordings. There's member presentations and recordings. There's master classes. There's classes I've got a class on wholesaling, finding your first deal, buying your first deal, finding off-market deals. I'm about to launch one on VA house hacking, and actually I need to film that whole course. And so all of that stuff is there to help you, and you've got to just take advantage of it, right? So that's an incredible community of service members and vets. We've got 7-8-figure business owners, 8-figure net worth guys, 7-figure net worth guys, 6-figure net worth guys buying your first deal. So any scope, and they're there willing to help you because of the bond that we have. That community has grown in ways that I never could have imagined, and I can't recommend it enough to anybody. I absolutely love it. So definitely check it out when you're at that point. I'm not trying to sell you on it, but when you're ready, schedule a free strategy call with my team, and we'll see if we can help you. Boy, hell, we just bought a 130 unit hotel in that group. Like a whole bunch of people from the group participated, and I raised $1.25 million for it, and then another guy raised $500,000, another guy raised $500,000, another guy raised 1.5, and we took this massive deal down with the main sponsor being a War Room member. And the guy who found the deal is a War Room member. And a lot of the investors are War Room members. There's probably 15 War Room members involved in that deal, buying a $10 million plus hotel right outside the Smoky Mountains in Townsend, Tennessee. So pretty sick. That's not what I would recommend as like the reason to join the group, but it's just a byproduct. I'm just rambling at this point. Building a brand or a business, like the brand is huge because you can scale that. And so as you grow this portfolio and you want to start raising capital for deals, having a brand that people trust makes that easier, which means you can do more deals, which means you can have more cash flow, which just, it all compounds. It's the same reason like Jimmy or Mr. Beast was able to launch a chocolate bar company and a burger company and all this other stuff last year. He had a brand behind it. You know, ask whatever questions you got down below in the comments. If you got any questions that came up through this while I'm rushing through just kind of like my quick, this is how I'd get rich right now if I had no money in the military, drop them down below so I know what content to focus on, and we'll really start honing in on all that stuff. And I look forward to helping you guys out. So have a great day.